My name is Dr. Sari. I'm a doctor in the University of Ghana. I'm a visiting professor in Warwick University in the UK and a visiting professor in Stellenbosch University in South Africa. I was brought up in the principle that hard work works. Hard work works. So back in my primary school, in Koforidua, in Kobo, I was working. I would carry water on my head. I would be hurting myself. I have been bitten by snakes. I have stepped on scorpions. I have gone through something that any single person who is gone through life, tough life, would have gone through. And then I went through my GHS and secondary school education. It was tough. I started getting into small businesses, selling, in helping my mother. I sold akasha. This is something we used to clean the bathhouse. I sold chicken at Kantamanto, a very popular, market in Ghana here. I have sold dyed blue jeans. I would dye the jeans, I would starch them, I would iron them in Kantamanto, and I would sell them. Then during holiday, Christmas seasons, I would go and sell chicken. I would carry about 14 chickens on myself and be selling them. I was told that in order to be able to make it, I need to do these little things to support myself. Okay? And I joyfully did it. I'll come back home, sold all my things. I was happy with it. I think that instinct of wanting to do well in these little things is what built me up. You see, whilst I was doing this, many a times I will have some information notes that I will write in my pocket. And I'll be learning. So sometimes when we are having lunch, I'll pull out my notes and I'll be learning. Whilst sometimes during exams week, I'll be learning and selling at the same time. I was doing these things at the same time. I was multitasking in that process. Not knowing, unbeknown to me, these things were building me and preparing me to be a multitasker in greater times to come. And so I continued. So when I finished my school, the rest of my education was on scholarships to go abroad to go and study. And I went to do some studies outside on a couple of universities abroad. And then I returned. And in 2016, I was told about this incredible network marketing, Max business. And interestingly, I didn't believe in the industry. Than to even talk about this organization. I didn't believe in the industry. My scientific knowledge and my credibility among my colleagues was something that for me, it was very, very important to me. And so I always shunned these sort of things. But sometimes in life, you have to be open-minded. You have to explore opportunities. Else, wherein lies success? I mean, this parochial-minded and you are not being able to utilize it. So I decided to look at what is this that is making people talk plenty. So that at least I can have the audacity to tell somebody that I know what it is. And that curiosity to want to know the truth about the network marketing industry and in Max in general, that was the day of rescuing myself. Because that was the time that everything changed. I was consistently invited by one of my students to come and look at opportunity. I said, no way, I don't need this. This is not for me. He says, no, come on. You're a doctor, you're a professor, you're a researcher. I mean, at least research into it. So I decided to go there and go and find loopholes. And that loopholes rather found me. I was amazed to see incredible people, way professorial than me, who have written articles, published peer-reviewed articles in 3-star, 4-star journals. PubMed had published over 149,000 published articles on the science of glutathione. Over 34 published peer-reviewed articles on the science of ribosine. For me, that was telling. I have to humble myself and look at this whole thing. So I got myself registered. And I decided to take this. I am not a failure. I've told you already, it was not a shy thing. I banged my ships. I didn't care what anybody would say. You see, sometimes we become so attached to our prestige, to our jobs, to our everything that we forget to look for other means. And sometimes we begin to focus on what other people will say. And that hurts us. We know inside us that we are suffering. We are having health challenges. And that we have to look for another means to better the situation. And yet because of societal misconceptions, societal sayings. We run away from that, and yet we are suffering. We know inside us we are suffering. We know that the other medications we are using are not helping. And so we have to be open-minded to the realities on the ground. The same thing, some of us will be working, having some income that we know is peanut. We work more than our bosses, and yet we are not even earning a quarter of what they are earning. We see that we are struggling. We know that at the age of 60, most of them friendly diseases will hit us. And then we have to go on pension. We know, we've calculated our pension, we know it. And yet, we become, stuck in the prestige angle. We are so happy to get a prestige, to live on the prestige, without remembering that there is value also. And so for me, I decided to bend the ships, throw all caution to the wind, and delve into this business. 2016, 24th of February, I started this. 4 professors began to question my mindset. They asked whether I was crazy or not. And one of them even later said, this is a scam. One said it's not true. Okay. Later on, one even said it's number 1, part 2. And a lot of people will tell you so many things. They believe in the science. They saw the science, they were amazed. But they didn't believe the income was real. Well, how do I prove it? It's by doing it. And then 2 years later, all 4 of them came to join me. All 4 professors came to. It's been a wonderful. It wasn't easy. I quite remember I went to that crowd hall to speak to people. All over the car park, I was moving up and down the whole day trying to talk to people. I spoke to about 256 people. Nobody responded to me. I quite remember some of my own students saw me there. They started giving me interesting names, telling me all kinds of things. Mr. Subjimity, Professor Ribosin. They were calling me drug seller and so many things, even though I wasn't having any of this. I decided to accept such misconceptions, such temporary misconception from people who are not even aware. They are ignorant. They are not aware of what is happening. The next week I came back. I spoke to 302 people that week, and that shot me up to become a bronze. When I became a bronze, I was so elated. A week later, I became a silver. Okay. And then I started building. Then along the line, my team crashed. There was somebody who came into the team, started moving everything upward, not knowing that he was doing things a bit, not correctly. And the person eventually left, and my team came down. I decided to quit. I decided to. In fact, a day has never happened, even up to today, a day has never happened, I've not decided to quit. So if you are quitting, it's normal. I wanted to quit. I told one of my leaders, I want to quit. I'm not a fool. This is not going to be the last chapter of my life. I have a better work I'm doing. I'm going to continue doing that. And I quite remember he told me that you will regret it. And I don't like it when somebody tells me, you will regret it. So I said I have to make myself. I came back, regurgitated myself, and decided I'm going to give it my all. I rebuilt my team back to gold, boom, moved to platinum, and eventually became a diamond. When I became a diamond, that was when I realized that all people who were not my friends started becoming my friends. People who didn't believe in me, they started telling me, I knew you were going to do it. I knew it. I knew it. I knew you were going to be a diamond the way you were going. And I said, you didn't know anything. You told me that it wasn't going to work. And yet, now people wanted to register with me. People wanted to come and join me. People wanted to be me. But you see, the journey started from somewhere. I burned my ships. I buried everything. I even forgot that I'm a doctor, professor. That was just title. And today, it's been a wonderful thing. It's not going to be easy. In fact, consistently, it's not going to be. But what is easy? Everything is risky. Everything is hard. Being single is hard. Being single is risky. Being married is risky. Giving birth is risky. Not giving birth is risky. Coronavirus is risky. On the 31st of December 2019, nobody expected Corona would hit the entire world. Over 45 million people have lost their jobs in America. Over 90 million people worldwide have lost their jobs. Over 1 million have lost their lives. That was a risk nobody expected, and yet you have to go through it. So this is not going to be the last chapter of risks anybody can take. This is one of those things. Take chances. You give it a try. It works, it works. It doesn't work, you know it. There's one professor who said taking risks brings about 2 things. If you take risks, you would have made 2 mistakes in life. If you don't take risks, you'd have also made 2 mistakes in life. So what will you do? Will you take it or you take it? I would rather take it and make 2 mistakes in life. And that is where the problem is. A lot of people do not want to try. They don't want to try things. They want things to be all right for them in life, but they don't want to know the process of going through to get those things all right in life. I continue to study. I continue to develop my mind. I continue to develop my skills. I continue to prepare notes, watch, read, practice, rehearse before I come on stage, before I come and deliver. Once a person develops that, you take yourself out of the picture and serve society. I see myself as someone who would have reached the top level of the company. I see myself reaching there. But more importantly, I see myself becoming an educator of the industry. Somebody who has synthesized information from all other network companies and will be teaching people how the profession has to be dignified, has to be learned. You need a right mindset, you need a right system, you need a right leadership, and you need a right self. Once you are able to understand it and develop and enhance these things, there is no way